Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Everything is Bad New Fangled Motion Picture Show.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Everything is Bad New Fangled Motion Picture Show. I'm your host, Niall.
And I'm Nolan.
And if you're anything like us, you saw the movie Snatch back in the early 2000s and have been trying to chase that high ever since. Only having it fulfilled a bit by The Man from U.N.C.L.E. and the Sherlock Holmes movies. And, it sort of left a hole in our souls for the last,
The gentleman got near there.
The Gentleman's pretty good. Anyway, what we're talking about is the chasing the perfection of fast-talking, intricately woven heist movie type thing with tough guys saying cool, tough stuff. That is Guy Ritchie movie. And so, this new one called Operation Fortune Ruse de Guerre. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yes.
I guess it's French, and I am not French.
I don't know.
But anyway, so we're gonna be doing a spoiler-free review for this movie like we normally do, and then we'll give you a spoiler warning and go more in depth into it after that. Being a Guy Ritchie movie, there's stuff to be spoiled, so. But yeah, so definitely feels like a Guy Ritchie movie, but really to me it feels like someone trying really hard to imitate Guy Ritchie and getting pretty close.
Really?
Yeah. It was a good movie. It was a fun movie, good heist movie. Some of the dialogue was really good, but I wouldn't say all of it was really good. You get the typical really good performances out of Jason Statham and Hugh Grant. Everyone else is pretty good too, but I don't know. So things didn't feel as crazy, intricately woven as Guy Ritchie's known for, even though he's only actually pulled it off a few times in his movies.
Yeah, I guess.
It's every time he comes out with a movie, that's what I really want to see again. I want something like Snatch, where there's just the story following several different people that are all weaving through and around each other's stories or whatever. Really snappy, witty dialogue, good comebacks from people, tough guys. And by tough guys, I usually mean Jason Statham and one or two other people. Saying tough guy stuff that is really quotable. Nothing in this movie is quotable. I don't remember much of the dialogue, specific dialogue. We quote Snatch all the time.
Yeah. No, yeah, I guess you're right. I think Hugh Grant had the best dialogue throughout the movie.
He gives this monologue towards the end of the movie. I don't want to spoil it, but he gives this monologue towards the end of the movie. That was really good. Pretty much everything else was meh. But that's but yeah, like I said, it's kind of like people know Guy Ritchie for this, even though he's pulled it off in maybe 4, 5 movies tops.
Yeah, well, I think the movies that everyone's oh yeah, well, classic Guy Ritchie is Snatch and Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
I would say the first Sherlock Holmes movie.
Yeah.
Man from U.N.C.L.E. is up there too, and The Gentleman was pretty good. I'd say The Gentleman was better than this. The Gentleman to me felt the closest to Snatch, let's say, that he's managed in a while. What was that last one he did though? The last Guy Ritchie movie that we reviewed.
Oh,
and were unimpressed by
the one with the armored car.
Yeah, that one didn't feel like a Guy Ritchie movie. That movie felt like Guy Ritchie was doing a studio a favor so he could make some other movie he wanted to make, or
that could be
he needed some cash to hold him over until he could make something he really wanted to make.
Yeah, that could actually be.
Wrath of Man.
That's the one.
That was the one. Which is rated 7.1 on IMDb. This is rated 6.5. This was a better movie than Wrath of Man.
I agree. Wrath of Man was kind of forgettable. Wasn't that a remake? I could be wrong.
I don't remember.
I feel like it's
a pretty forgettable movie though. But it's a, like I said, it's a pretty good Guy Ritchie movie. It's the best we've had in a while. basically since The Gentleman, and then other than The Gentleman, it was the last really good Guy Ritchie movie, like Sherlock Holmes 2.
I guess.
Something of Shadow. What was the subtitle?
Game of
on it?
Shadows.
Game of Shadows. Anyway, yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at with this movie. Like, one really good monologue. Overall, a pretty good, fun plot. But, like, you know, what people really want from a Guy Ritchie movie doesn't feel like it quite nails it to me.
Yeah. Because I see Carrie Ellis, though. I was like, oh, hey, look, there's Carrie Ellis.
Yeah, there he is. This Josh Hartnett was, I thought was actually pretty good, too.
I didn't realize it was Josh Hartnett at first.
Yeah.
Took me, like, partway through the movie to realize who it was.
Yeah, I don't actually really know him from anything specific, I think. He was in...
He was a lot bigger, like, when I was in high school and college.
He was in Wrath of Man, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm guessing that's where you met Guy Ritchie. Guy Ritchie likes to reuse actors a lot. Like, you see a lot. Like, I mean, Jason Statham in particular is in a lot of Guy Ritchie movies. Hugh Grant's been in like 3 now or something, 3 or 4 now, something like that. Right?
Yeah, I guess.
Think.
A couple.
Anyway. But yeah, like, most Guy Ritchie movies reuse actors that he's worked with previously. He's a lot like Christopher Nolan in that way.
Yeah.
That next Guy Ritchie movie does not look like a Guy Ritchie movie, though.
No, it doesn't. Yeah, I think peak of like Josh Hartnett's popularity was probably Pearl Harbor.
Oh, what? Really?
Yeah.
Is he like one of the main dudes?
Yeah, he's like the one other than
Dude.
shoot, I can't remember his name.
Yeah. So when I saw
Ben Affleck.
When I saw Pearl Harbor, it was in theater. So I would have been what, 11, 12? Came out like 02?
Let's see.
Something like that.
Pearl Harbor, yeah, 01.
01, so I would have been like 10 or 11 years old. No, 9 or 10 years old when that came out.
Yeah. And then he was in Black Hawk Down, and like he used to be like in a lot. There's a time where he was just like in a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like a lot of actors have that like stretch where they're just like
Here's the thing.
a big deal.
Here's the thing though about being in Black Hawk Down. That doesn't really mean anything because that had like
Everybody.
every fit military aged male in Hollywood at the time in it.
Yeah, and like Ewan McGregor was in it.
Yeah.
Right?
Orlando Bloom was in that movie, right? I think.
Yeah, I think he was.
Like it had every young male in Hollywood
really
capable of doing
cast.
action stuff. Like, but and which made everyone's character forgettable. It made no one stand out, which is like fine because.
So when you look at the cast, and it's like a lot of Brits playing Americans.
Brits can play Americans better than Americans can play Brits. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think one of the issues I saw someone. This is kind of off topic, but I saw some Brits talking about this, and they think the real issue is that like Americans just assume when they see someone they know is an American doing a British accent, they assume it's a bad accent, and it's not always a bad accent.
Yeah.
There's been a number of times where Brits have seen Americans play Brits and didn't even realize that they were Americans, and
the
like,
best
it's just
Brit-
not as obvious.
The best Brit doing an American accent though has to be oh crap, I can't remember his name from Knives Out.
Oh,
Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig
Doing that southern accent. I love it. That's
that,
great.
Like Cajun.
Oh yeah, that's fantastic.
It's so over the top.
Yeah. But anyway, so Operation Fortune, yeah, like if you like Guy Ritchie movies, you'll like this movie. It wasn't as punchy as like I typically like from my Guy Ritchie movies.
Mm.
You know? And I think because I was thinking about this the other day, because I'm like, where do we get this from? Because like you look at Guy Ritchie's catalog, like everything he's done, and you're like, there's only like I don't know, a fourth of the movies that he's done like really hit that well.
Yeah, well, it's like, why can't I think right now?
Because it's Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, probably.
And you're
It's close to dinner time.
Yeah.
But M. Night Shyamalan,
Oh yeah.
he has this reputation, and I'm like, I've seen a bunch of his movies. I've liked one of his movies. That might be, unpopular hot take. I don't think he's very good.
I don't think it's that unpopular of a hot take. I think most people like that, but I think most people saw. What was that one that like got him really well known? The one with the plants.
Oh, that's not what got him well
I don't
known.
know. What was the?
You're
there was
talking the one with the plants was Mark Wahlberg.
What was the one that like made everyone go, "This man is a genius"?
Oh, well, that was Sixth Sense.
Oh yeah.
That one was pretty good, but I think and I never saw the sequels to Unbreakable, so maybe they're good. I've heard they're good.
Yeah, I've heard they're good as well.
So, but everything else, I'm like, why do people like M. Night Shyamalan? I don't know. Like Signs. People love that movie. I'm like, this is a terrible movie. It's not his worst movie, but it's terrible.
Well, his worst movie is definitely Last Airbender.
That was pretty bad. Well, did I tell you Roger Ebert's review of that was, by law of averages, something should have been good in this movie? I'm like, wow, that is harsh.
Damn.
Yeah, that was Roger Ebert's
Got him.
review of The Last Airbender.
Brutal.
Anyway, let's get back to Operation Fortune. Much better movie than The Last Airbender. I'll give
Yeah.
it that. Yeah, I enjoyed it. And if you're like just looking for something to see, if you want to go to the movies, I'd recommend it. Otherwise, maybe just wait till it's on streaming.
Yeah. Because there's not a whole lot in theater at the moment if you've already seen Ant-Man.
Yeah.
At time of recording, like we went to the movies today for another movie, and there was this is like 65, Operation Fortune, Ant-Man, Cocaine Bear I think was still in theater.
I think Operation Fortune is better than Ant-Man.
Yeah, I agree. It's just a better written movie, better acting. And I like
No, you can't think.
Douglas.
Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas. I always get him and his father mixed up.
Oh, you have to think which one's Kirk and which one's Michael.
Yeah. But yeah, there's just I don't know, there's not a whole lot at the moment. So Guardians of the Galaxy is later in the month, right? Or no. It's in May. Right?
I don't
Anyway.
remember. Anyway, so yeah, that's more or less a review of it.
Any spoiler stuff?
it's
So spoiler warning.
Yeah.
That monologue that I was mentioned, given by Hugh Grant,
Yeah.
at the end of the movie, that was great.
That was great.
That was like, this is Guy Ritchie dialogue right here. This is what I came for.
Yeah, just if they'd had more of that in the movie.
Yeah.
Well, all the scenes with Hugh Grant were great.
Yeah.
You know, that monologue at the end was definitely the best, but the whole thing, he was pretty great in the movie. So basically,
Hugh Grant like really nails the like evil motherfucker vibe.
Yeah, and that was what's so funny because he's the villain. He is and he isn't. Let me get into that. He is a bad person, but he's still so charming.
Yeah.
In the role, but
Very
basically,
charismatic.
So the premise is the British government hired this like team of mercenaries to go retrieve an unknown object that was stolen from like the Ukrainian government.
Yeah, and keep in mind this was written before the war.
Yeah,
Like
this movie actually got delayed because of the war. But the Ukrainian government aren't the bad guys necessarily. They created something that was stolen, and now Hugh Grant plays an arms dealer, and he's brokering the sale between the thieves and someone who wants to use this, which turns out to be an AI that could be used to destroy all the banking in the world.
Well, it would. So they were going to use it to basically cause a momentary, like, glitch in all the banking systems, which was going to cause people to lose faith in the banking system.
Right, and then they, in the meantime, have bought up a ton of gold.
Right, because when people lose faith in the banking system and like have a run on the banks, gold is the only gold's going to be basically what people are going to go back to, or is their plan.
Right. So anyway, we don't even know what that is and what the thing that was stolen is going to do till most of the way through the movie. But there's the team, and like Cary Elwes is their boss, and like Jason Statham and a couple other characters are they're going after it, and they're trying to like infiltrate Hugh Grant's operation. But what their way in is they hire Josh Hartnett, who is an actor, and he's Hugh Grant, his character's favorite actor. Yeah. And so they're like going to use him as an in to get in there, and so it's sort of a Team America kind of setup that way. But there's also a rival team that they think that the British government also hired to get there first, but it turns out they didn't. They're working for the ultimate buyers so that the buyers don't. They're trying to avoid having to pay the fee to Hugh Grant to acquire the program.
Yeah.
So in the end, though, they go to Hugh Grant and they make a deal like, look, they screwed you over. You don't really want this to happen. What they're planning to do with it, we're willing to just look the other way because you're this illegal arms dealer billionaire. If you help us, get it back. So he agrees, and he goes in and he sets out this like whole monologue about like how you don't screw him over because of his connections and like what he's capable of. And then he says, if you look out that window, that building needs to be demolished, and what that could be taken with some explosives, but I prefer to use
a JDAM,
a missile. And like he's like a 3, 2, 1 is like sitting nothing. Let's try that over. 3, 2, there we go.
Yeah, it's just a really well done. It's a very Guy Ritchie like monologue scene. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I don't know, that scene was great, but I wish there was more of that in the movie.
Yeah.
Is all.
One thing that's funny is though during the credits there's this other scene. So Josh Hartnett, he and Hugh Grant, their characters become like really good friends over the course of the movie. So Hugh Grant becomes a film producer, and then they make a movie where Josh Hartnett plays Hugh Grant's character. So they like recreate that scene, and he comes in doing this like impression of Hugh Grant and his accent and stuff, and it's really pretty bad.
It's like purposefully bad.
It's pretty funny the way they do it.
Yeah. So this dude who played JJ, the black guy in this, so he's like a British rapper, right? And this is only the second movie he's done. Because he's also in The Gentleman.
Yeah.
So I could definitely see where like he's probably gonna pop up in further Guy Ritchie movies, because like once Guy Ritchie's reused someone, like you're gonna see them again in his movies. Right.
And he was pretty decent for his role too.
No, I thought he was good. He had some decent dialogue, like because like the team that Jason Statham is working with under Cary Elwes is Aubrey Plaza and Bugsy Malone is his stage name, and they're like they don't really like each other, especially at first, and so they're like flinging insults and stuff at each other. That's pretty amusing. But he delivers the dialogue pretty well, and he plays a good, convincing like tough guy.
Yeah.
So. Anything else to put on this?
No, I don't think so.
Next Guy Ritchie movie has Jake Gyllenhaal, and definitely doesn't look like a Guy Ritchie movie. So we're definitely going to review that, because it looks like a kind of movie we would have seen anyway. But
yeah. All right. So what do we got? Next week is Shazam: Fury of the Gods, but we're not going to review that next week because
I'm not going to be here.
Niall's going to be out of town, so you might be late on that. Following week, I guess. Which is fine because there's nothing like the following week, right?
There was something else in March. Keep scrolling. There was something else in March.
Well, John Wick is
the
24th.
Yeah, John Wick. That's the week after.
Yeah.
So, definitely reviewing John Wick 4, obviously.
Yeah.
I just rewatched John Wick 1, 2, and 3 because I've seen John Wick 1 enough times, and the plot of that's like pretty straightforward. They really do a lot of crazy in-depth world building in 2 and 3. And I'm watching it. I was watching this. I was like, I'm really glad I decided to do this because I forgot a lot of these movies.
Then we got Dungeons and Dragons. I know, like, a lot of people are like gonna boycott D&D for various reasons, but I don't care.
Looks like a fun movie
that much.
I really hope the four main.
I understand the people that are upset at Wizards of the Coast for things, but I don't care enough.
Dude, if they do it right, the four main characters are all gonna be like cracking jokes and being like bumbling goofs the whole time, while all the NPCs are like.
Well, if you look at the trailer, there's that one over serious character. That's the Game Master PC.
Yeah, that has to.
That's the GM PC. He's the one that's like the super serious guy, like wizard guy or whatever.
Yeah, that's definitely like four friends like goofing around, and the DM's like really trying to come in with this hard hitting lore.
And he needs the GM PC to make sure things move along.
Yeah.
Then April we got Super Mario Brothers.
Yep, that's obvious.
You're still up in the air about Air. I'd kind of like to see it.
I don't remember what that one is.
That's the one about the Nike, the Air Jordan.
Oh, yeah.
With Matt Damon and Ben Affleck and Jason Bateman.
The cast is stacked. I'll give it that. But I don't care.
Yeah.
About the story being told.
You're not interested in The Pope's Exorcist, I'm sure.
Although I do like Russell Crowe, and it looks like he does a pretty good job in that movie. We saw a trailer for it today. But I'm not a horror person.
Okay, so Paint is a parody of... It's not actually about Bob Ross. It's a parody of Bob Ross. Almost portrays Carl Nargle.
Interesting.
So, anyway, I'd like to... I'll check out the trailer for that later. But
yeah.
Then Renfield coming up, so we got stuff we're looking to see.
Yep. So that should be fun. Now that I think about it, I think Guardians is in May. Right. July is
May.
I know July is Oppenheimer, which is probably the film I'm most looking forward to this year. At this point.
What is the evil of Dracula?
Who's in it? Who plays Dracula?
Alan Wayne, Miles John Dalton. It looks like it might be animated.
I don't know who that is. I don't know. Like, IMDb lists everything coming out, like even stuff straight to streaming. So who the hell knows, right?
Right.
The only animated Dracula thing I'm wanting right now is Castlevania.
Yeah, I don't know. Just judged by the poster, I think it's animated.
Yeah. So, anyway, if any of that sounds of interest to you, come back and check out those further reviews. Our next review is going to be for 65, starring Adam Driver. And go check out our previous review. What was our previous review, Nolan?
Oh,
I got him.
You got me.
I got him. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Oh, it was Ant-Man. Duh.
Yeah. So check out our review for that and come back and check out our other reviews. Because movies are back, baby. Regal, the parent company of Regal Theaters, declared bankruptcy, which means they're going to go through a big corporate restructuring. I know they closed one of the Regal theaters here in town. But it's not a good sign for the movie theater business. So go see movies.
Please go see movies.
Because apparently that's where they're making all the money now. Like, they don't make enough money on DVD sales anymore.
They don't make any money on streaming. So.
Right. So theaters are where they're making all their money. So, like, if you don't want streaming quality movies to be the standard, go to the movie theater. Is really what it comes down to.
Yep.
Because if they can't make their money on the front end anymore, we're going to start getting stuff like Red Notice all the time, and that'll be the standard.
Yep. Then there'll be a resurgence of 70s, 80s, 90s movies. People will be rediscovering that, which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, but I've seen
all those movies.
Seen all those movies because we watch a lot of movies, and so I want new stuff. So, yep.
Anyway.
So, yeah, I guess until next time, thanks for listening.
Bye.
Toodles.